Ji, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am Shahid Khan and I am starting today's broadcast. I hope you all can listen. Just write yes or don't write anything in the chat box or the question section. Great. Thank you very much, Amara. Thank you very much, Junaid. So, before starting today's session, which is definitely around uh, developing strategy, uh, uh, the session and the case study which was shared by Harun Sab earlier, I want to know your views first. So, any feedbacks? I'm sure all of you have seen those comments in the WhatsApp section. So, but I want to hear out from you. And if even if you want to share, I can open up your mic and you can share with others as well. But your feedback, how was the session? How was that collaboration? So मैं अभी आपके questions का tab भी देख रहा हूँ, so you can comment there, and if you raise hand, I'll open up your mic as well. And especially, oh, and great. Then we have Junaid with us. Junaid, uh, I have unmuted you. You can unmute yourself and start speaking.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू। आल सर, क्या हाल है, कैसे हैं आप? एक्सपीरियंस के बारे में बताऊंगा कि बहुत अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहा, बहुत अच्छा हमने टीम एफर्ट से एक प्रेजेंटेशन तैयार की है। लेट्स सी कि क्या होता है, और मतलब आप एंजॉय करेंगे इसको। और एक टीम एफर्ट पुट की है जिसमें हमें काफ़ी चीज़ें सीखने को मिली हैं, जैसे कोऑर्डिनेशन कैसे करना है, टाइम मैनेजमेंट कैसे लेके चलना है। ये सारी चीज़ें हमने दोबारा एक तरफ से रिमाइंड की हैं अपने, मतलब सीखा तो हमें ACC ने काफ़ी कुछ सिखाया माशाल्लाह, लेकिन फिर भी एक रिमाइंडर के तौर पे हमें ये दोबारा एक दफ़ा रीग्रुप करने का मौका मिले सर।
Excellent. और before you leave, जुनेद, आपका सेक्शन या सेशन था कौन सा, ग्रुप कौन सा था, A, B, C, D या
सर
E, F?
हम लोग, सॉरी फॉर दैट, मेरा ग्रुप था E+F,
E and
और हम लोगों का एरिया इज इम्प्लीमेंटेशन स्ट्रेटजीज।
implementation. और मुझे ये बताइए जुनेद, who will be speaking today? Who will be the presenter from your group?
Sir, we have 4 people. Tamina will lead
Excellent.
definitely. Tamina is leading the group, and then Omar will do some slides, and then Hasib, and then me. And this is how it will work, and we will present in group E and F.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you very much, Junaid.
Thank you,
Let's
sir.
hear from other groups now. G. So from group A, B, and C, D, volunteers who want to share their views. Or even if you don't want to share, kindly mention names of all your presenters या जो भी group activity कर रहे होंगे. By the way, I am also eager to listen to those views जहां पर participation का challenge आ रहा था, और बहुत सारे लोगों को ये complaint आ रही थी कि people are not engaging and interacting, not giving feedbacks. So I am ready for that question or comment as well. Okay, so even in today's session, आप देख रहे होंगे कि the participation is not very high. Okay, yes, we have 4 people and 3 more only. G. So thank you, Junaid, once again. So आपने ये देखा होगा कि participation is normally very low. और इसका रीजन मल्टीपल हो सकते हैं. रमजान could be a factor, could be their workload, but trust me, इन ग्रुप एक्टिविटीज से जो चीज निकल के आती है वो है कि आपको अपने ग्रुप में से वो लोग बिल्कुल आइडेंटिफाई हो जाएंगे जो लीडरशिप स्किल्स रखते हैं, जो कोऑर्डिनेशन, जो टीम बिल्डिंग एक्टिविटीज में एक्सपर्ट्स होते हैं. certainly we respect that. बिल्कुल उमर, ये रमजान और जो ऑफिस टाइमिंग है could be a challenge, लेकिन इन challenges से emerge होके जो extra effort करता है eventually उसको in terms of outcome भी वो बहुत बेहतर रहता है. So वो कहते हैं ना कि हर एक इंडिविजुअल के पास एक्सक्यूजेस होंगे जरूर अपने किसी भी चीज को ना करने के लिए. सो वो डेफिनेटली हमें अपनी अपनी स्किल्स को और अपने आप को बाउंड्रीज को पुश करते रहना है. और इसी से मेरे जो रोल है ना, मेरे रोल के अंदर आई हैव बीन एंगेजिंग विद सो मेनी सी स्वीट इंडिविजुअल्स, क्योंकि बिजनेस डेवलपमेंट में इट्स ऑल अबाउट चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव्स एंड सीएफओज ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो मैं बहुत कीन होता हूं उनके सी स्वीट की के माइंडसेट को, स्किल सेट को इवॉल्व करने में. तो मैं उनसे जब इंटरेक्शन में पूछता रहता हूँ, जो एक चीज कॉमन होके मेरे सामने आई है, और मैं उनसे पूछता था कि सक्सेस का राज क्या है. सारे अकाउंटेंट्स एक ही क्वालिफिकेशन पढ़ते हैं, और उसके बाद कोई एक बहुत जूनियर सा क्लर्क या अकाउंटेंट होता है और एक सीएफओ बनने के बाद कहीं का चीफ एग्जीक्यूटिव भी बन जाता है. इवन अगर आप बाकी प्रोफेशनल क्वालिफिकेशंस देखें ना, जिसमें चाहे मेडिकल फील्ड हो, इंजीनियरिंग हो, लॉयर्स हैं, ये सब की क्वालिफिकेशन एक है. बट कोई आपको लॉयर एक बहुत छोटे से टाइपराइटर पे बैठा हुआ भी मिलेगा, और एक वो लॉयर भी मिलेगा जो जिसकी कई कई महीने अपॉइंटमेंट नहीं मिलती. सो एज डॉक्टर्स, सो एज इंजीनियर्स, और सो एज ऑल अदर प्रोफेशनल्स. सो मैं जब इन लोगों से वो डिस्टिंक्टिव करेक्टरिस्टिक पूछता हूँ, तो मुझे जवाब मिलता है कि दिस इज नंबर वन, जो डिस्टिंक्टिव करेक्टरिस्टिक है वो रिसर्च है. सो दे डू मोर रिसर्च देन अदर्स. और वो रिसर्च सिर्फ और सिर्फ उनके टेक्निकल नॉलेज जो कि उनका कोर एरिया है उसको नहीं इंक्रीज करती, बट द ओवरऑल क्यूरोसिटी, ओवरऑल बिजनेस के बारे में, अदर फंक्शंस के बारे में, टीम मैनेजमेंट के बारे में, कल्चर के बारे में, ये वो सारी चीजें, हार्ड वर्क एंड डेडिकेशन डेफिनेटली. सो ये वो चीजें हैं जो कि एक प्रोफेशनल को उसके प्रोफेशनल करियर में एक्सेल करने में हेल्प करती हैं. और आज हम डेफिनेटली, हारून साहब विल आल्सो बी जॉइनिंग अस इन कपल ऑफ मिनट्स, और वो भी अपने व्यूज और कमेंट्स दे रहे होंगे. लेकिन हम अभी शुरू करते हैं ए, बी और सी, डी. आई नीड नेम्स गाइस. डोंट से कि हमारे पास इस वक्त इस ग्रुप में, जो कि नियरली 35 लोगों का है, ग्रुप ए, बी और सी, डी में से कोई नहीं है. दिस इज नॉट पॉसिबल. So excellent. We have Masood from Group C, which means C and D. So Masood, आप आज और आपकी टीम प्रेजेंट कर रहे होंगे. So there is another name, Kamran. So same question for you, Kamran. Masood and Kamran से कि क्या आप दोनों और आपकी टीम आज प्रेजेंट कर रहे होंगे? Yes, no, we don't know. So anybody can write. I'm sure both of you are waiting for other to respond. I can present. Excellent, Masood. Brilliant. And I think I encourage Kamran and all others. Gee, thank you very much, Masood Faz from Group A. Thank you very much, Masood. So Masood Faz से अब मैं बात कर रहा हूं कि आपके साथ ग्रुप ए और ग्रुप बी में कोई और जो कि जॉइंटली कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकें, प्रेजेंट कर सकें, व्यूज दे सकें. बिकॉज ये प्रेजेंटेशन और कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स में हम चाह रहे थे कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा फ्रेंड्स एंड मेंबर्स पार्टिसिपेट करें, rather than one individual leading. So guys, बाकी लोग, अभी तक मेरे पास सिर्फ 4 लोगों की okay, but there is no group participation. Masood, I absolutely agree. Or even I can unmute you if you want to share this, your views, your sentiments with other friends. You're more than welcome. I prepared presentation. Nobody bothered to provide any feedback. So Group D, Salman. Thank you very much, Salman. I hope you will also contribute. So going back to Masood Ahmad. Masood, would you like to speak to other members as well? So Maria is in Group A. Yes, I can speak. So let me unmute you, Masood Ahmad Qureshi. Give me a second. सो मसूद मैंने आपको अनम्यूट कर दिया है, आप काइंडली अपने आप को अनम्यूट कीजिए और बोलिए।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, कैन यू हियर मी?
जी, लाउड एंड क्लियर मसूद।
Okay, great. Thank you so much. First of all, I really appreciate the overall efforts of ACCA for organizing this Group 7. But sorry to say, there is specifically in Group C and D, I didn't see any specific group participation, and I'm not sure about the other groups. But we discussed on last we agreed last mutually agree the meeting we mutually agree the meeting on Sunday at 11 a.m. But only 4-5 people joined that meeting, and there was a not specific discussion, just general discussion. We discussed about generally about the presentation, and then एक ने मुझे कहा कि आप ही presentation बना लें तो देख लेते हैं इसको. So I prepared that presentation and then share with my colleagues, with my group members. But I didn't receive any feedback. But still, I can alone present my presentation, and that's all from my side.
Hey, thank you very much. But before you leave, I think Masood, any quick learning, आपका experience क्या है? What do you have to say about this behavior? What have you learned?
I say that people want to earn. लोग चाहते हैं कि हम बहुत ज्यादा अर्न करें, बहुत कुछ करें, लेकिन वो खुद से कुछ करना नहीं चाहते. दैट इज व्हाट आई कंक्लूड. कोई कुछ करना ना पड़े और हम लोग सब कुछ हम अर्न भी करें और सब कुछ करें. दैट आई एक्चुअली अंडरस्टैंड.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That's one perspective. We respect all perspectives. So any counter argument or comment from anyone? I think such healthy conversations are important. Postpone this program till after Ramadan. This is another perspective, Kamran. I absolutely respect that. और right on wrong हम अभी नहीं determine कर रहे कामरान. हम अभी सिर्फ ये determine कर रहे हैं कि different perspectives क्या हो सकते हैं और हमने किस तरह से navigate करना होता है in complex or complicated. Because at times I hope you all would agree कि workplaces के ऊपर भी you come across your colleagues, your even teams, close teams या cross functional कि जिसके अंदर आपको different behaviors मिलते हैं. They always come up with different ideas and different propositions. So ये responsibility leader की है कि after listening to everything उसको decide करना है what to do. So I think वो जो team lead है, team का group है, उसके ऊपर बहुत भारी responsibility आ जाती है यहाँ पर. So Junaid says if other is wrong, you just focus on you to save. So Junaid has another different view. Abdul Wahid Sheikh कहते हैं कि Masood is right, but actually it is becoming increasingly difficult to manage in Ramadan. Another perspective, and we absolutely respect that because हर human being different है from other, or you can set your priorities accordingly. There is no right and wrong here. Ji, you can, Junaid. Why not? Let me unmute you first. Ji, Junaid.
Assalamu alaikum, sir, again. सर मैं आपकी बात को एंडोर्स करने के लिए ये कह रहा था, जैसे आपने वर्क प्लेस की एग्जाम्पल, इसी तरह सर हम जब ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस के लिए भी सीख रहे थे तो वो यही बता रहे थे, जब आपने रोड के ऊपर होना तो फोकस ऑन योर सेल्फ, रैदर कि अगर आप वहाँ पे लोगों की तरफ उनकी मिस्टेक्स को देख के अपने आप को डाइवर्ट कर दो उन चीज़ों में, तो फोकस ऑन योर सेल्फ। एंड जाहिर सी बात है दूसरे प्रैक्टिस तो आते ही रहते हैं, मतलब दूसरी चीज़ें भी सेम ही चलती हैं। इट्स नॉट अबाउट राइट एंड रॉन्ग, इट्स अबाउट के आप क्या कर रहे हैं। थैंक यू सर।
Thank you very much. So Umar Tarar ka ek aur message hai. I'm from group E and F. I'm part of the presentation but have to leave for an ad hoc meeting. Might be back for presentation if my group presentation is pending. Right, Umar? Even if you, I don't know when do you want to leave, but if you have 10-15 minutes, we can start from group E and F as well. So एक तो ये comment कर दें. हामिद साहब सॉरी मैसेज इज नॉट विजिबल, लेट अस शेयर। जी श्योर हामिद साहब, मैं शेयर कर रहा हूँ आपको बाकियों के मैसेज, इसलिए मैं पढ़ता जा रहा था कि अगर किसी को कोई कन्वीनियंस इनकन्वीनियंस हो रही हो तो मैं साथ साथ शेयर करता रहूं। सो उमर, आई एम वेटिंग फॉर योर। ओके, सो आई हैवंट शेयर्ड एनीथिंग सो फार सिद्रा। ठीक है, सो गाइस, before starting our today's the session presentations का, मैं आपको थोड़ा सा प्लान बता दूं for our upcoming sessions और उनके टॉपिक्स क्या हैं, वो एरियाज क्या हैं, ताकि थोड़ी सी एक्साइटमेंट बिल्ड हो सके, थोड़ा सा आप अपने आप को गेयर अप रख सकें। मैंने इन तमाम ट्रेनर्स से और एक्सपर्ट से जो एक चीज जो जो कॉमन है मेरी इनके साथ कम्युनिकेशन और डिस्कशन में, वो है कि देयर हैज टू बी मोर एंड मोर ग्रुप एक्टिविटी, मोर एंड मोर एंगेजमेंट, पार्टिसिपेशन फ्रॉम द ऑल अटेंडीज, बिकॉज ये वन साइडेड नहीं होना चाहिए। इट हैज टू बी अ टू वे प्रोसेस, so you should also comment, give feedback, challenge each other with, and obviously respect other perspective as well. This is extremely important. So जो हमारे अपकमिंग सेशंस हैं गाइस, उसमें we are once again coming up with a master class of taxation. उसका scope we will share कि हम taxation के किन elements को touch कर रहे होंगे, but this is another important area जो कि next 4 sessions के अंदर जो unmoderated, जो moderated sessions हैं उनमें से एक होगा। The other and the second session will be art of networking. So once again we will be highlighting importance, impact, different methods of networking. So एक at least 2 घंटे का, और इसके बाद उनकी ग्रुप एक्टिविटी और फॉलो अप सेशंस क्या होंगे, क्या वो मास्टर ट्रेनर आपको यूजफुल एडवाइसेस दे रहे होंगे, क्या क्वेश्चंस आप कर रहे होंगे, उसकी बेसिस के ऊपर हम डिसाइड कर रहे होंगे। थर्ड सेशन जो हम प्लान कर रहे हैं अगले 4 सेशंस में से, वो है रेजिलियंस पे। सो आर यू रेजिलियंट? सो स्पेशली इन circumstances में जो unprecedented हैं, और वी आर इन द न्यू एंड डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड। सो थर्ड सेशन हम इसके ऊपर कर रहे होंगे। फोर्थ सेशन विल बी अराउंड लीडरशिप। सो लीडरशिप स्किल्स, इसमें शेडो बोर्ड्स भी इंक्लूड हो रहे होंगे, इसमें और बहुत सारी चीजें आ रही होंगी। सो दैट विल बी योर फोर्थ सेशन। और फिफ्थ सेशन विच विल बी क्लोज टू और मे बी आफ्टर ईद, और वो होगा डाटा एनालिटिक्स पे। और इसकी रेगुलर पोस्ट, जैसे कि मैंने आपको वो की भी भेज रहा था जो आप लोगों को आपके ग्रुप्स पे, सो इसकी भी मैं रेगुलर अपडेट्स आपको आपके साथ शेयर कर रहा हूँ। सो गाइस, एनी कमेंट, क्वेश्चन, फीडबैक before we start all those exciting 4 group presentations? So Umar is coordinating with the other team members if he wants to go first, or Junaid is very interesting topics. Thank you very much, Maria. This feedback is extremely important. Looking forward. Great. So let me see any other show of hand? Otherwise, we'll begin. So, Harun Saab, if you are here, I can see you. And if you can hear and speak before we start, G, you're unmute.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Harun.
Great, thank you very much. Okay, sorry for joining with a bit of a delay. I could hear the last part of the conversation where Shahid was explaining, Shahid was sharing all our secrets with all of you. So these sessions, the reason why we are a little secretive about them is that we don't want members to pick and choose. Okay, data analytics must be good, so I must attend it. Who wants to attend boring taxation? So that's why we keep a bit of a surprise in them also. But rest assured, just because uh, we, which is when I say we, I mean ACCA secretariat, ACCA colleagues, staff. We are at a position where we come across many members, some very senior, some fresh into the qualification, etc. We can very easily see why is it that some members do better than the others. And I can tell you, these are those factors. I mean, these programs, 6 digits as well as 7 digits, they are formulated, structured, keeping in mind those uh, you know those factors, those qualities, those skills, that particular mindset which can take you into the next level. So that's all the rocket science that's there in these programs. I can tell you very honestly, that's the rocket science. And I'm sure uh, uh, as you complete the 7 digits program, you'll also feel a boost in your enthusiasm, in your involvement in your professional life, in your targets that you've set for yourself. You will be able to see that boost in your career. So, without any further ado, Shahid, what is the status of the presentations? Do we have the presentations ready? Were they discussed in the groups, etc.? There's a bit of a discussion that I want to do
G,
around
certainly,
that
Harun
subject
Saab.
as well. Okay, and
G,
what
G,
is the outcome?
G, I've already picked that conversation in the initial part of the session. Just may,
All right.
mixed feedback. So feedback from Junaid was very encouraging. So today, four members of E and F will present. So although they also had challenges, but they somehow overcome those challenges and are ready for today's session. And then from group C and D, मैं sorry नीचे से आपसे backwards आपको बता रहा हूँ जिस जिस तरह से feedback आ रहा था. So members Masood and Kamran with Salman, they will present on behalf of group C and D, or obviously they also face challenges जहां पर participation बहुत low थी. And from group A and B, Masood, Faiz, Maria, so far I've picked their names. They are sharing, and I'm sure others as well. There are approximate
Excellent.
42 now, 45 members are there in the group, so they will more take part. So ये है sir flow A, B, C, D, and E, F का. All three presentations are ready. So over to you.
Great, great. Okay, thank you very much. Very quickly speaking, this was a very, very important subject. I mean, this case study that was given to you, I went through, I think, at least about 30 or 40 case studies, out of which I particularly picked this one up because, when you're talking about the role of leaders, what do leaders do? What are they expected to do? What do they do best? Or what is one thing that they must do? That is strategy setting. That is giving the organization a direction. So what would be a leader of an organization, or how can there be a leader of an organization who doesn't know how strategy is set, how important strategy is, who doesn't know how to formulate it, who doesn't know how to execute the strategy. So such is the importance of this topic. It is not just a case study followed by presentations. The content in there was also very enriching, and that's why I picked it up. And I also noticed that the case study was written by one of the best, professors from one of the best universities, and that was National University of Singapore. So NUS is a very well-regarded university, and therefore I thought that this would give us a very good perspective also. So who's going to go first? I hope, which group is going to go first? Are we beginning with Group A, because that is the sequence of the case study as well? Umar is suggesting that we begin with Group E. My take on this will be that we begin with A, because Group A has to tell us what is the role of leaders in making the strategy, and how do we set strategic objectives. That's the first part. If we start in the reverse order, we'll actually be going through the case study in the reverse order. So I'll appreciate if Group A can come in first. So who are the group members? Thank you, Junaid. Group members, please identify yourselves so that I can make the presenters from the group. Tehmina. Okay. Tehmina, who else is going to present the case study with you? Junaid and Tehmina? Oh, you're from ENF. And I'm looking for. Okay, so you have Tehmina, Umar, Hasib, and Junaid. 4 people presenting the last part of the case study, which was executing, implementing the strategy. Do we have Group A here? Yeah. Do we have Group A here or not? Okay, that's not a positive sign. It's unfortunate. I would then have to begin with Group ENF. So I am making presenters one by one. Of course, one of them will be a presenter. Tehmina, does Tehmina have the presentation? Okay, Tehmina will start. Okay, just give me a second then. There we go. Make you the presenter, and the rest of the group, I'm going to unmute them. They can speak whenever they like. So, okay, other group members are Umar, Steve, and Junaid. Umar Tarar, is that the full name? Okay, Umar Tarar. There we go. Umar Tarar, you have microphone control. Junaid Khalid, you have microphone control, and Hasib. Where is Hasib?
Hello sir, I am here.
अच्छा, आपके पास ऑलरेडी माइक्रोफोन कंट्रोल है. Great. ठीक है जी. Tehmina, over to you.
Thank you, Harun. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you are all doing good, and I'm glad to have you all with us today. I am Tahmina Shariar, and I would like to introduce you to my group of presenters from Group E and F. The presentation will be conducted by Umar Tarar, Hasib Azam, and Junaid Khalid. So today we are going to present you the implementation of strategy for Toyota electric vehicles. So let's see what we have here for you. Yeah, so we are going to start with the purpose. The purpose of our presentation today is to tell you about the implementation of strategy for Toyota electric vehicles. The the study is going to is to follow an integrated approach using an approach to integrate responsibilities, strategic objectives to show you how to implement the strategy. So first of all, I would like you to focus here on the implementation of management structure. Toyota has proven that we meet the expectations of our stakeholders through contributing to the social values and distributing economic value as a good corporate citizen. So they have implemented their strategic objectives and integrated them with the responsibilities. The responsibilities they are focusing on are the corporate social responsibilities. They are contributing towards the social values. They are enhancing the social values. They're focusing on the shareholders, investors, customers, international, local communities, company members, and business partners. So they have proven to contribute towards the enhancement of the economic value. Discussing about the implementation stage, I would like to point out here that there are 4 key important areas in the implementation of the strategy, and those are planning, communication, alignment, and monitoring. Toyota has been focusing on these 4 areas for implementing its strategy that we will be discussing later on in our slides. So discussing the major achievements here, we will have a short brief look over here about the major achievements for the Toyota and the issues they have encountered. For as long as their responsibility 1 is concerned, that was corporate growth while fulfilling our responsibility in harmony with society, they have contributed towards the social value. Their major achievement has been examined as a shift to CSV management and identified aspects of materiality. They have proven to show to go to a greater length in this regard. The issues they have been focusing are formulating next midterm business plan based on these materialities. Next thing is the major achievement for Toyota has been strengthening management foundation, strengthen global management foundation. They have created a business management structure that is integrated with their goals of responsibilities and their strategic objectives. They have developed efficient organizations. They have promoted global utilization of human resources. Now, the further issues they are looking in the future are creating foundation for management information, and they want to further promote vibrant work style innovation. So these are the key issues they will be focusing in the future. Moving to the next areas. Oops. So the third thing here is strengthening competitive advantage. Toyota believes that their major achievements have been developing new technologies and new products towards 2030. So their achievement has been in this area: tide generating force, 5 senses plus air quality system development. The issues they are looking into right now is to plan commercialization of growth strategy items. They have also strengthened system supplier system. In this regard, they have achieved trial launch of model project, and they further explore on expanding the business fields. Apart from this, they have also further enhanced their fundamental capabilities in manufacturing. They have proven this by proving 26% reduction in development man hours and promotion of plant autonomy. In this regard, what they plan to do in the future is to promote digitization, utilize global R&D. They realize optimal production and supply systems and establish a procurement base to strengthen competitive advantage. These are the issues they are going to be looking forward in the future, working on the major achievements. Their fourth integrated part is offer multidimensional value, expand business fields. So they are promoting new businesses. In this regard, their major achievement has been to establish mass production technology in response to market electrification. And the issues they are working on still are developed products for emerging markets and launched pilot production of lithium-ion batteries, which are necessary element for the electric vehicles. So these are the things they are working on integrating their business objectives, strategy objectives with their responsibilities. Now I would like to hand over to Umar Tarar, who would guide you further into detail. Umar Tarar. Umar, are you here with us? Umar, can you hear me?
Is
Umar, can you
unmuted,
hear me?
but
Umar, you have to unmute yourself.
I can see he has unmuted, but we can't hear him still.
Umar, you have to check your audio. He's working on it. Umar, is it resolved? Okay, Junaid is saying that he's muted too and he's also unable to unmute himself.
Even Junaid is also
No,
muted.
Yeah, both of them are unable to unmute.
No, I've made Umar a panelist, and still he's unable to. Let me try Junaid. Junaid, can you please try and unmute yourself? Sorry, let me. Here you go again. Junaid, can you please unmute yourself now?
Yes, sir. Now I can hear you. So
Okay, all right.
Okay, it's Umar then.
Umar.
Umar, can you try now?
Umar is unmuted, but I think he has an issue with his audio connectivity. I think he'll have to rejoin the webinar.
Okay, let me tell him.
Umar, if you can go to the audio section and try changing the microphone. There may be two devices attached on your laptop or your computer.
it's issue for me
Go to the
before,
audio
but
settings.
now it's okay.
All right, can the group
Umar,
go ahead without Umar at the moment? Umar may join in later.
Okay, we can skip his slides then.
no, I can present that. Can you change the slide, please?
Yes, sure.
Shamina?
Yes, sure. You just let me know.
Please. So moving to the Umar area, we dedicated his area to the implementation process to achieve the strategic objectives. So the Toyota EV, they planned for 2030 1 million sale for the EVs, and other than that, reduce the emission is the main target to clean the environment. And strategic objective to achieve the profitability as the main concern of the business, that they want to achieve the every EV with the GV. G stand for the gasoline vehicles in the same class, means the same model and same category. They want the same achievement of some profitability to ensure that the implementation is going on in the right direction. Can you change that? Yeah. So the next one, the implementation. Their important thing is to plan the strategic objectives and communicate, align, and monitor regularly. So if you are not regularly communicate to the your downstream and the higher management is not taking feedback from there, they can be a problem for that. So maybe you are not achieving your outcomes timely, but the Toyota EV rightly set their plans and the communication and the alignment, that they plan for the 1 million sales up to 2030, and the main target is to clean the environment for the globe. Please change the next slide.
Yes, sure.
So going to the planning is also always focuses to translate the strategy into the actions timeline. There should be a proper timelines for that, allocating resources, and that Toyota is rightly did for the EV. And the timeline we divided in the presentation is we for studies the constitution and what is the phase 1, which is going up to 2025, and then the phase 2, which is 2030. Can you please change the slide? So the moving to the current situation, by the time when they decided already for the 2021, they are launching the 4 EV models, and they want to launch a further 51 hybrid models. In total 55 they are planning for that currently, and they achieved already up to the time. Action, they are the Toyota is saying that the world is concerned about the environment, but the thing is, what about the other power plants which are also associated with the emissions? So keep that in mind, they plan for the phase 2, which is the timeline by the 2025. They are very willing or encouraging to launch a 70 more models up to 2050, which includes 7 EV models, and 8 will be the 8th will be launched up to 2025. For that, obviously, for the implementation, the main concern is they can do it internally as they have the global leader in that, but the partnerships, they are focusing on the partnership with the Suzuki and the other team players in the market. Then they have the plan for the phase 2, which they have the timeline up to 2030, and they target for 1 million, which is which should be translated into a reality. They have to work very hard on planning, communication and alignment with the higher management. It's a proper, and on the daily basis, then monthly basis, and quarterly, semi-yearly, and the yearly basis, they should sit together again and again and check for the variances. Can you please change the slide? So this as I told, that the communication and the alignment is the key for the implementation. Toyota, as a global leader, they set up the EV unit, and then they already have the resources, but they documented the strategy in identification and the formalization. So for the each department of this unit, they have the leaders which encourage the team workers to perform that action in the way, then collectively they will achieve the outcome for the EV unit. So then this is all for it, and I just hand over to the Harsi for the next slide to present. Thank you. Harsi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you move on to the next slide?
Sure.
One of the major important factor for the successful implementation of the chosen strategy is to formally implement, document, and communicate to the from top to the bottom approach, where everyone has been informed about their roles, responsibilities, and duties, what they should do, and based on this, the timelines needs to be determined, and any of the objective, any person who achieves his target must be rewarded not only in the financial terms, but also maybe in non-monetary financial terms. Can you move on to the next slide? Yeah, the performance can also be measured. The targets can also be set in the financial terms, such as operating profit targets of 100 million yuan in a year, promote further production plants in overall Asia and China, and improve the production system, such as including more automation system, more automated systems, just like in China. Most of the car manufacturing systems are fully automated. The robots assemble the car from the nuts to the bolts to the spare parts. Major spare parts are manufactured and assembled by the robots, not the human beings. Humans' roles have been reduced to only operating those robots. And by this way, by maximizing the production capacities, we can the company aims to achieve the best use of the limited funds and investments available to the company. Can you move on to the next slide? Can you move on to the next? The Toyota aims to implement its strategy and achieve targets by heavy sales and marketing teams and heavy advertising, increasing the more expenditures on sales and marketing, increase the production plants throughout, as I discussed earlier, throughout the different countries in Asia and China where the labor is cheap. More competent human resource are available at the cheaper resources. More research, since the electronic vehicles is a new technology, it requires the more research and development. It's most costlier, double costlier than the gas fuel cars. I have was reading the report that some lithium ion battery is the main component of the EV. It costs more than $100, but the Toyota company all over with the participation with all market players are trying to reduce it to below 100, so that it can be in the reach of the ordinary people. And once the strategy is set into motion, the proper analysis and monitoring is required by such as financial involving finance and investment experts, data analysts, auditors, licensing with managers locally, and not only locally but also internationally, according to their local laws and regulations. Then once the outcomes start to arise, then these can be monitored on daily basis, quarterly basis, semi-annually basis, annual meetings to measure the budgeted and the database which was companies are supposed make its budget and strategy with the compare with the actual results that the company has obtained, and strong measures to be taken by the company in case of significant variance arisen. The performance can be monitored in the form of return on capital employed, market share, growth, number of the electric vehicles sold, based on not only on Japan but also global geographical basis, such as Asia, China. Now, the performance of each department, what Toyota implementation expectations arises on the behalf of the stakeholders, such as does it environment pollution friendly, low cost, and does it fulfill the government regulations? All these document expectations and are to be not only formally documented and to be worked upon by the company to achieve its foremost strategic objectives. Can you move on to the slide? From there on, another Mr. Sajjad will take over.
Okay, thank you, Asif. It's Junaid. Thank you so much for your slides and your output. Then moving on to the implementation expectations, the expectation is that if you implement the things and you plan properly, communicate with the team properly, and align with the higher management, then monitor it properly on the time, you have some expectation from the implementation which need to be fulfilled at the end of the any unit target. So moving to the competitor perspective, that before, as I told you, that the Toyota is the global leader in this EV market, but now the other old players like Honda, Nissan, GM, Ford, they are also entering in the market. Tesla is giving the exciting product for the market, and Chinese, as you all know, they are the team leader for the low cost. Means is there a global leader? Actually, it's not a team leader. It's a global. They are a global leader for the low producing or manufacturing anything in a low cost. So keeping that in mind, the Toyota is working very high. They put high efforts on the marketing department and the RD department. So competency means they already have the global leader in the market. But again, if you are a global leader and you have presence all over the world, but you are unable to communicate properly or monitor properly and integrate together properly, or the allocation of the resources are not as up to mark. Like you have the R&D department, but they are not integrated. They are not telling each and other the weakness and the strengths of their own. Then it's very tough for them to shine in the global market. The other thing, they already have less presence in the China. They have started with the China, but they have less presence in the China and India, and they are moving to the other markets like Europe and USA as well. So implementation expectation also includes the environment, the political and economical, social and technological changes which happen rapidly in the world. And to shine in the global market more effectively than the competitors, you need to be ahead from the competitors. So in this thing, the Toyota have already very good incentives from the government. They are they have the people, they encourage the new generation is very willing to like the clean environment. They are very keen to new things and like automation and the alternative for fuels. Then there are other things already involved in that. For key factor for the implementation that Toyota is implementing for this EV unit is RD is the major thing, and the leader of the every department of the unit should align the main main strategy, like what identified and formulation by the higher management to the ground level. And at the end, unit, customer, and all other stakeholder internal environment throughout the implementation, they have to be on the same page. So as they are planning for the participation in the environment challenge in 2050. So the finding which we are taking from the market itself is very growing. They have too much room for the for the growth. That as you see, the compound annual growth rate is 21.1%. And if you see the figure, then the data is 3 millions in 2029, expected to be 26 million in by the 2030. And again, other thing is all investors are keen to invest in when they see the figures, and the government is also encouraging through incentives. So approach what Toyota approach, uh, as the Japanese auto giants, they are planning for the 5.5 million by the 2030, and more than 1 million for the zero emission. Means they are without any carbon dioxide emissions, like minimize as much as they can, is up to a zero. And before they're saying that Toyota have the presence all over the world, and Toyota is uh, focusing on the alternative fuel consumptions, and which is low cost, and less emission. They want to reduce the carbon dioxide emission from the world. So lastly, Toyota is looking for new markets. Um, like I told you that China and they are in China right now, but they are planning to move to Japan, India, North America, and Europe. And partnership, they recently partnership with the Panasonic for the battery assembling and the marketing things, and recycling. Everyone is encouraging because is the effective use of the resources, and government is also giving them the incentive on that, and the other energy partners, so you can use the batteries again and recycle it again. Thank you so much. Any questions, please? Welcome. Thank you so much.
So that is all from our side for today, and we would be glad to answer your questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Group E. I think good presentation, but definitely there's feedback for improvement also. So first of all, let's see if the audience has any questions. I do have questions. Let's see if the audience has any questions from the group. Okay, the way we can take questions is please raise hands. I'll unmute you and then you can ask the group. You need to identify yourself as a part of a particular group. Please raise hands. I think everybody is enjoying a good sleep during Ramadan. My question to the group is the importance of culture in strategy implementation. How can culture be an issue while you're trying to implement the strategy?
Thank you, Arun. I would like to answer that. Developing a strategic plan, I guess, is a very vital part of any organization's success. So, an organization must be able to efficiently execute the strategy to achieve its performance. So, I guess the organization culture is often the most important determinant in successful execution. So, there are so many factors that can be hindering that can affect the strategy implementation. A few of them can be how they are trying to align their goals, or how do they plan to work to focus on productivity and getting the organization's primary mission accomplished. So one of other factors can be the flexibility, their unified cultures, how they are going to bring those cultures together in that organization, their norms. So these factors, I guess, do form the part of strategy implementation in culture.
And so I want to add something here as well. So that when we talk about the culture, it's about the people, and the people. If the leader is motivated for the outcomes, and they motivated their teams to achieve the outcome through their actions, it will be always helpful for the organization.
Okay. How does, I mean, we're talking about Toyota in this case. Toyota is an organization that has its presence in terms of its manufacturing facilities and its sales infrastructure in various parts of the world. A strategy is agreed and decided globally. The strategic objectives are global. The strategy formulation process can also be global, but can strategy implementation be local owing to specific culture in the marketplace in a particular country? And if yes, can you give me an example of it? Should I repeat my question?
No, it's okay. Hasib, would you like
I
to
mean,
answer that?
the reason why I'm
Can you
asking is that this is exactly the same situation
Yes, true.
that we face at ACCA as well. So the strategy of the organization is a global strategy. The objectives are global, but the implementation of the strategy in different markets, could it follow a different approach,
yes,
or should it be very stringently aligned, or should the strategy implementation also be agreed and decided by the central and just passed on to the markets to go on and apply? What is your
uh,
opinion?
Yes, sure.
my opinion
Hasib,
on this
yes.
is that the main crux, the core strategy implementation should be aligned, just like Harun suggested. The ACCA the crux subject requirements to become from a student to the membership are same, but they are also uh, aligned to what we say local customs, something that is locally more prevalent than the other countries. Just like in China, there is no concept for human resource in assembly of the cars. They have replaced through robots. But whereas in our country or any other developing markets, there is still work performed by the human resource. The robotician is not to that standard. However, that companies should try to implement the further technologies to have the competent advantage in those developing markets. I hope I have answered this question.
Yeah, I would like to add a few more things here. So, as Harun, you said that the strategy is usually developed at a global level. So, I guess strategy is supposed to be in the top to down bottom approach, but the objectives are not necessarily going to be in that way. So, I guess a strategy can be developed at a higher level for a global perspective, but it needs to be aligned with the objectives. The objectives should be from down to the top. I mean, you have to look at the monitoring of the progress, how the strategy is going to be monitored. Then you have to develop the goals and objectives at a bottom level. And then you have to align those goals and objectives with the strategy developed for the global level. If the alignment process is going out well and the people are connected and the measurements and the leading indicators are going well, then I guess these factors can be overcome.
So can I add something more? So I just give the example for the McDonald. Yeah, McDonald. They started the burger in Pakistan like a aloo burger or something like that. Yeah. And then in the Gulf area they started the McArabia. But globally, when they started in the UK, they don't have the idea even for the McArabia or the aloo tikki burger like that. Maybe I
I think it was
misquote the
chapal
name, but
kebab, not aloo tikki,
yeah,
because it
but
is
anyhow,
chapal.
it's something like a aloo. Yeah, they put something. It's burger which is available on the McDonald's, but I misquote the name because I don't remember. I forgot the name of that burger. But they used to. It's like a aloo tikki burger. Yeah. So they pick from the local area.
Yes,
So
Junaid
then
is
they
very
add
right.
it. Yeah. Then they
There are
add it in the.
Yeah.
most of
Then
the
they
food
added the
outlets.
menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So locally, they should
They,
align the
yeah.
global goals. Then they look to the international goals to the local market. Then they have with the new product, new ideas. Yeah, please add that. I mean,
Yes, Junaid has very well pointed out the examples that Harun was asking for. I would like to say that most of the restaurants and the food outlets here are basically international franchises, but they are looking for to cater for the local tastes. So it's a very good example, Junaid.
No, I agree. And the reason why asking this question was that um, I agree, Tamina. I will pick up your sentence. That the strategy or the strategic objectives are always top down, but they always have room for localization, for local innovation, for local ideas to be made part. Um, for food chains such as KFC and McDonald's and others, definitely taste or the quality aspect is in place. However, they've left some bit of it to the market to decide, and that decision on any innovation in the product can be particularly in line with the culture in the country. If you read through the case study as well, the table 9 also very clearly identifies that culture can be a big hindrance to implementation of a strategy. So organizations do demonstrate flexibility when it comes to implementation, particularly of the strategy in a particular market due to cultural reasons. I heard this very interesting sentence that I want to repeat here, and that is, culture eats strategy for breakfast. So interesting.
That's true. Yeah, very
Interesting
interesting.
comment, right?
No
So,
doubt.
yeah, exactly. So that's a very important factor. I think about the presentation now. Would anybody want to come in and give a comment about the presentation, how it was made? First of all, I appreciate the 4 people who took the opportunity, came forward, made a presentation. I think that's brave. Everybody should try to do that. That's the only way, I can tell you, only way that you can improve. We people, we can sit back, criticize, find possibilities of improvement. That's the easy part, I can tell you. But if it is, if it is about making the presentation, I think that's the difficult part. So first of all, excellent. Thank you very much. You've done a
Thank
good
you,
job,
Arun.
and your team has also done a good job. Yeah,
Thank you.
great. And now, Temina, if you can tell me, was the presentation prepared by 4 different people?
No, we actually worked as a group on this presentation. So it was a group effort.
Okay. Then why is it that when I look at your part, there are more infographics, there are tables in the presentation, but to the later part of the presentation is more texty slides with more sentences written in?
Yeah,
Why
actually, we thought that we are going to keep a balance of some infographics and some text part. So actually, it was our way of giving it a balance. Maybe it wasn't that successful, I guess.
No. I mean, look, in my opinion, when I've seen effective presentations, and whenever I've seen people talking about delivering effective presentations, writing complete sentences on the slide is a distraction. So what happens is, I as a listener was finding it difficult to try to read the slide or to listen to the presenter. I had to do one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I can very easily relate the text on the screen with what the presenter is presenting, I am at peace, and I will pay more attention to the context.
Yeah.
But if I'm struggling with what the presenter is saying and what's written on the screen and trying to read it, I have a tendency of getting lost, which means people will be listening, they will not be understanding. Yeah.
True. Yeah, agreed.
Okay, so that's one suggestion. So I think that's a change that you can make. Number 2, I would have given Toyota's case study less importance in this entire scheme of things around strategy implementation. I would have spoken about the context of why strategy implementation is, and use Toyota as an example only. So I think that's another thing that you could look at. I could have easily cut down the slides to a half if I were to make this presentation and avoid detailed discussions on Toyota's strategy.
Actually, we were 5 participants. So we increased the number of slides in order to divide among us. So in the end, we ended up being 3. So that's why it went a little long.
All right. Okay, so that's team management, is it?
Yeah. Yes, true.
Okay, all right. No, that's great. That's great. I think that's these are all the suggestions from my side. Just to give you an idea of what Toyota may be facing or other car manufacturers will be facing in some parts of the world. Let's say specifically अगर हम पाकिस्तान की बात करते हैं, do you all know Pakistan has a green vehicle policy now in place or about to be put in place? Do you know about that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And the issue that might arise as a result would be hybrid vehicles, which are gasoline vehicles as well as EVs together, hybrid. Are they being included as in Pakistan's green vehicle policy? So the answer to that is no at the moment, which might offend uh, some manufacturers or some countries who have vehicles, export of vehicles as a major export in their country. So, for example, China and Japan and a few other countries. So, such are the challenges that organizations may face, in implementing their strategy in different markets, right? So while in one major market, their focus may be on producing a vehicle that is stylish, that is economical, that is uh, that fits the profile of vehicles in a particular market. On the contrary, मैं आपको एक और एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. ये जो हमारे यहाँ एक गाड़ी बहुत पॉपुलर है आजकल, which is Honda Vezel. Do you know that just because the overall length of this vehicle was, I think, 4 inches or 3 inches longer than the standard set by the government for hybrid vehicles, this vehicle could not be classified as a green vehicle in Japan, and that is why it was exported in big numbers to other markets, because the government duties on this particular vehicle in Japan was of a higher category, and therefore it was turning out to be a very expensive vehicle there. Okay, so that is how calculative organizations have to be, and that is how their strategies have to be in line with the particular market that they're operating in. Okay, so some interesting facts that I thought I'll share with you. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed. Let's move on to another group.
I need to add one thing here. That, like you are saying, that in Pakistan we have the environment police very strict. We are not encouraging hybrid vehicles in Pakistan. They have both gasoline and the electric together. But as the fact is, logically speaking, Pakistan, they have the very high emission vehicles in all cities. We know that. So why they are not going stepwise? Why they are going jump into the only electrical vehicle? Then not going for the. Why they are not encouraging for the hybrid first and then go to the electric?
Junaid, I would rather expect a question from finance professionals. If what is the government going to do to electric vehicles? Give them a tax break? Give them a duty, a different duty structure? So what is at stake? If you talk about the government, it's their revenue, the revenue that the government earns by either letting cars been imported or cars being manufactured. Government is earning revenue. So any flexibility or any any offer that government makes through a green policy would mean a dent in the revenue that the government is going to collect from this sector. So that's the bargain. So I'm sure since the government at the moment is
but that is the one thing. I'm agree on that. Sir, yes, sir. So I'm agree on that. That is the one thing. But the thing is, we see our cities are highly polluted already. and we have a vehicle which have the high vehicles all in all big cities. They have so much emission which is already exceeded the criteria. So why means it should be logically speaking, it should be allowed for that to earn the revenue. But as you see the local environment as well, means what is going on current situation. I am talking about the current situation.
जी जुनेद, इससे ज्यादा अगर मैं इस पे डिस्कशन करूंगा तो वो पॉलिटिकल हो जाएगी. सो you know, why
Yes,
is the
sir.
government
Leave
not
it,
thinking
sir.
about environment? Why is the government? I
Leave
want to
it,
keep
sir.
it purely professional.
Yeah, sure,
Okay,
sir.
so
Sure.
let's not go in that direction.
I
Of
got
course,
you, sir.
environment
Thank
is a concern.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Of course, environment is a concern, but economy is also a concern for the
Yeah,
government.
very
Okay.
true, sir. Yeah, sure, sir.
All right.
Thank you
Group
so much.
C and D, which means Group C wants to present. Hamid is now in a hurry. Hamid, I'm not even sure if Group A is present. So next up, Hamid, it's going to be you and Masood Ahmed Qureshi is going to present, right? Hamid, I'm going to make you a presenter, Salman, Hamid, and Masood. So the presentation and Kamran. Okay. Who has the presentation? Masood to be the presenter. Okay, Masood, let me look for you. Masood, अगर आप hand raise कर देंगे ना तो मेरे लिए बहुत आसानी हो जाएगी. अगर आप चारों hand raise कर दें please. I can see सलमान. मैं आपको unmute कर रहा हूँ सलमान. हामिद. जी, 2 hand raises है अभी तक. अहमद. Masood Ahmed Qureshi, yes? Okay, so Masood Ahmed Qureshi, I'm going to make you the presenter. And the last one was Masood, आप हाथ raise कर लेते ना तो मुझे आसानी हो जाती. And the last one is Salman. Salman, आप तो hand raise कर सकेंगे please?
Actually, you already unmuted me there. That's right.
ठीक. Thank you. Anybody left? हामिद आपका भी unmuted है, सलमान भी unmuted हैं और मसूद के पास presentation है इस वक्त.
Okay, so if you put it in the presentation mode.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
हामिद जरा कामरान से भी कहें वो अपना हैंड रेज कर दें ताकि मैं Masood, are you ready? Hamid Kamran का हैंड रेज नहीं है. I can't identify as सलमान आप प्लीज अपना माइक म्यूट कर लें. सिर्फ फिलहाल का जो माइक है वो
Achha, no, sorry, I'm going to start with the introduction. Arun, actually, I'm going to start with the introduction and then Masood will take over.
Okay, go on. जी, आप थोड़ा सा क्वाइट एनवायरनमेंट में आ जाएं, आपके बैकग्राउंड नॉइज है.
Okay, give me 1 minute.
I'm going to mute myself.
My screen is visible.
Is it better? Yeah. Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome to the second part of the presentation, that is regarding developing strategy for Toyota Motors. I'll introduce myself. My name is Salman, and my colleague Masood and Hamid are also with me, and we'll be taking you through this strategy. for Toyota Motors. Okay, so please bear with me since it is Ramadan and we are toward the end of the Rosa, so the energy levels are really low. I can understand for everyone, so please bear with me as well. Okay, so just let me give you a structure of our presentation. We'll start with the introduction and a bit of background regarding what the strategy is and what are its components. Then we'll explain the vision and mission of Toyota Motors. What are the strategic objectives of Toyota, and how the strategy is formalized, their strategy that they have devised is formalized at Toyota Motors, and what is the way forward. And if you have any questions, then we'll be very happy to take those questions as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so why are we here? We are here to discuss the strategy formulation for Toyota Motors, and I'll just give you a bit of background what a strategy is. What are its major components? A strategy is basically devised to cater for the four stakeholder groups, their customers, keeping in view the need of their customers, what they want, how they can be best served, and all that. The competitors, how the competition is doing, what are their products, how we can outdo them, and what are the competencies that we currently possess, and if we need to do some competence development, what are our way forward in achieving those competencies. And lastly, the environment, the impact of our products that will have on the environment, since we are all going to stay on this planet and we have to make a positive impact on this planet. So that is also need to be considered in formulation of the strategy. So the strategy must answer following questions. There are, you can say, 4W1H in summary, like what is it that we want to achieve? The strategy must answer this question, that what is that the company or the organization that we are talking about wants to achieve. When do we want to achieve? There should be a specific timeline, like we used to have the SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So the strategy needs to be specific in the timeline when we want to achieve our objective. Where we want to achieve, like it could be a region, it could be a particular customer segment, it could be anything. So the strategy must specifically address this question as well. How are we going to do it? Like if we have the competencies, or if we need exploring further new markets, or we need to venture into new regions, like currently we are working in Asia and we need to go to Europe. What are the challenges and what are the opportunities that we see? So how are we going to do it? Answers that question, that what are the competencies that we need to develop, and what are the products that we need to develop, so we can achieve our strategic objective that we've defined in the what and why. Why do we do it? Like you see, that is general perception, or a corporation exists to maximize the wealth of their shareholder. So that is one core objective of any organization, but there are other social objectives as well that could help go green to save the planet and all that. So what are the characteristics of good strategy? Strategy, you can say, need to prioritize. A good strategy is prioritized toward a certain goal. It should be leveraged towards the objective of the organization, overall vision and mission statement that the company has. It should be aligned with the vision, and it should be implementable, to say the least. Because you see, having a strategy that you cannot implement, or setting a target that is highly unrealistic, will only hinder the confidence of the management in their capabilities and negatively impact the profitability. And it should be coherent and dynamic. A strategy should be able to change with the change in customer demands, trends with the time. It should not be rigid. A strategy looking at the customer demand or looking at the trends or looking at the requirements. We should be flexible enough to change a strategy to be make it keep it relevant, because whatever we are planning now, it is 10-20 years in future. So it is possible that when we reach there, those objectives or those targets that we've set are no longer relevant. Like David Gillen at Toyota remarks that a key to great strategy development is taking the strategic objective and being able to inform the leadership and the strategy with other perspectives through quantitative and qualitative research and analysis. So these are the critical elements for the success of a strategy. So next. So I'll hand over now to my colleague Masood. If you could take over. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Salman. Can you everyone hear me properly?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you so much for this good introduction. And let me introduce myself. My name is Masood Ahmed. I'm presenting the overall second part of this presentation, that is vision and mission of Toyota Motors. The main purpose is that before we discussing about the strategy formalization, we internally decided within our group that first we actually need to brief our audience about introduction, and then what is the mission and vision and mission of the Toyota Motors, and what are their strategic objectives, so that we keeping those aspects in mind, vision and mission and strategic objectives of Toyota Motors, then we can it will be better to convey our message specific to the strategy formalization to our audience properly. So with respect to Toyota Motors, their vision is basically the overall be the leading provider of innovative battery powered solution to the global car industry. So this is their vision, okay, overall broader level vision, and their mission is that develop environmentally friendly cars using clean and sustainable battery power. So these are the high level vision and missions of the Toyota Motors, that they actually, based on that, they are actually devising their strategic objective, and then they will formally formalize the overall strategy of the company. So what are the strategic objectives? The overall strategy objective that actually are coming from the vision and mission, that is the first objective of the Toyota Motors, is that achieve the largest sales and market share in the overall global car electric market. That's the one major strategic objective of the Toyota Motors. Another objective is to achieve the highest sales growth among the major competitors. Okay, that is the another goal. There are a lot of competitors that is currently competing Toyota, like Mazda, Nissan, Honda. There is a Telsa Motor, General Motors, Ford, and then some other competitors based in Germany, like BMW, some other organizations. So they are competing. Toyota Motors is competing globally. So now it is nowadays it is a huge demand of electric vehicles as well in near future. So there is a strategic objective of Toyota Motors to achieve the highest sales growth among these firms, among these competitors. So this is the overall objective, strategic objective, one of the strategic objective of Toyota Motors. Another objective of the Toyota Motor is that service are account for 20% of revenue of the profit within 5 years. So that is the overall their strategic objective. Again, this is coming from the overall vision and mission that I just explained before. So overall, another objective of strategic objective of the Toyota Motor is invest at least 5% revenue in research and development. Research and development is a key for automobile sector, considering that nowadays different varieties, different technologies, and different aspects are covering by various organization, competitor, various variants are coming in, even in the electric vehicles as well. So it is the one of the strategic objective of Toyota Motors that they should invest high at least 5% the overall revenue in the research and development that actually give them return in long run. So this is the overall strategy objective of the Toyota Motors. So I'm handing over to the for the strategy formalization. I'm handing over to my colleague Hamid. So if he can explain about the overall strategy formalization that we actually formulated based on the case study that shared by the Harun Saab. So over to you, Hamid Saab.
Thank you, and Assalamu alaikum everyone, and happy Holy Ramadan. Hope all of you are enjoying. It's a fourth part of strategy formulation of Toyota Motors. It have different grades, which first one is the customer's perspective, and in formalization stage, they focus on a high-end performance in the upcoming models of 2022 and prioritize reduction in cost by improvement in overall quality of electric vehicle by 2025 due to its efficient production and supply chain management system. Next slide, please. Competitor perspective जो है इसमें expand the range of hybrid vehicle across the mid and large car segments by 2025. Toyota have a large competitor segment like Tesla, like Honda, and many other brands. So to cater that, they need to have different kind of vehicles to cater all the type of customer by cost and by brand. Use Toyota production system and current supply chain as a base for cost and quality advantage. Toyota have most efficient production and supply chain system globally, and due to its, they are good in reduction of cost and managing the good quality and time management of deliveries for the customers. Next slide. Competencies. Position the leading model Prius Prime as the innovative and higher-end Toyota to compete against other cars. And the Prius was one of big brand in the hybrid and electric vehicles, and they are focusing to make it for the upcoming new electric vehicles, and they are also interested in Lexus model to be a EV, and they are focusing on electric engine and hybrid option, different options like lower market to high end and to public transport also. Next, please. Environment perspective. They are prioritizing environmentally conscious customer, offering high reliability, moderated price, mid-market hybrid electric car, and reduction of emissions. And they are focusing to reduce the emission 50% by next 5 to 10 years. And they are focusing on sustainability, on efficient manufacturing, recycling of batteries and vehicles, and carbon offsetting activities. Due to recycling, they would save the environment and also produce cost-effective vehicles and also reduce the emission. Implements that is already done by group E and F. So thank you, and any question?
Thank you very much, Group C and D. Let me first of all see if there's any question from the audience. Kamran Aslam still saying I can't speak. Kamran, you will have to raise your hand, then I can unmute you. No questions so far. Again, good presentation. I liked the slides much better this time, and particularly because they were short, precise, they were not texty, and didn't face any problem in understanding the content. If we can go back to the slides that Salman was presenting, the hows and I mean the 5 W's. Okay. My question to Salman. Salman, you have included how in the strategy part. I think if you go back to the case study, it does not
It's who.
include how.
Then it's who.
It is.
W. Who is the spelling mistake?
Yeah, Harun, yes, it is there. It is actually how the firm will achieve competitive advantage and how the firm will create and capture value. These are some of the examples that are given in the document.
Yeah, but if you go to
Some of the examples are
specific
how the firm will grow.
page 11, where
Page 11, yeah.
page 11
Table
of the
7.
case study. If you can go back to the same slide, please.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know, my particular perspective in this is that at a strategy level or at you know, at a level where you're doing, you know, formalizing strategic objectives, do you think you need to draw down into how element as well? How are you going to do it? So, you know, the part above the table clearly says that strategy must answer the following questions: what to do, when to do it, where to do it, with what to do it, and why to do it. It doesn't include how. But afterwards, of course, it says an effective strategy should guide the firm on the following. Should guide. Yeah. And that's where the how part, the how element comes in. Do you agree? Do you think the how as a question at a strategy level is important? Or can it be delayed
But
till
our take was that,
implementation?
yeah, I totally agree with the contents. Sorry, your voice broke. Can you please say again?
Yes, my question was, do you
Are you
think
guys?
that
Yeah.
while you are, sorry, are you able to hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. So my question was that when you are coming up with the strategic objectives, or when you are trying to define or formalize the strategy, do you think you need to answer how is the strategy to be implemented, or how is the strategy to be put in place, or how is the organization going to achieve, you know, what it has set forth in the objectives? Or do you think it can be formalized or finalized rather in the implementation stage? What is your opinion about it?
I tend to agree with you, Harun, that it can be a part of the implementation stage as well, but it is also necessary to be able to understand how are we going to do it at the time of formalization. Because you see, if we formalize something which is not achievable or not doable, there's no point in wasting time in making that strategy and then not being able to do it when they go in the implementation stage. So I guess that the how part is a crucial thing that needs to be considered when devising a strategy as well. Just my opinion, I could be wrong, but
Others, what do you think? So when you're formulating the strategic objectives, sorry, can you just give me a minute? When you're setting forward the strategic objectives, can I just give me a second, please?
Yes, sir. Can I
so
add?
when you are,
Hello.
just give me a second, please. Okay. So when you are coming up with the strategic objectives, of course, what you have at heart is what you want to achieve, what success you want to achieve for your organization. So, for example, you want to have the maximum market share in electric vehicles. You want when you're formalizing or coming up with the objectives, You're keeping the customers and the competitors in mind, and then you're coming up with a strategy. How are you going to do it? If you start discussing that at the very initial level, there may be too many thoughts or disagreements that might come in at that stage. However, the strategy, the strategic objective that Toyota, let's suppose, wants to gain the maximum market share in EV electric vehicles in a particular market or globally. Therefore, if you start discussing how as a limitation at that point, it might distract or delay the implementation. However, there's nothing wrong in straight away saying we want to gain the maximum share, and then how are you going to do it? That's going to come later. Junaid, you want to say something?
Yes, sir, very rightly said, because the thing is, how should become as a just indicator in identification part, just how and explain it in the later in implementation. But the thing is, if it is a concern that how it will be done, then it should be come in the identification rather than formalization. What if you're doing the formalization and you're thinking about how we will do? It means you are not identifying the things properly, and the later, if you are translating into the action, it will come in the implementation. I believe so.
Okay, anybody else? Let's look at the question. If anybody has.
I want to say something, Masood.
Hey, Masood, go on.
Harun, I want to say something.
Go on.
Okay, so I totally understand your concern regarding the how aspects should not be covered at the initial while we are formalizing the strategy. But I also agree with with my colleague as well that we should at high level we should in mind that how we will implement that when we are actually devising the strategy, while we are actually formalizing the strategy, we are developing that. So there are, I'm not saying very minute detail, but high level detail. We should know that how we are going to do that. So we have written this in this context as well. Over from my side.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Masood. Thanks for clarifying. That's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Okay, Sana Khan has written, and she says, with what to do is a synonym of how to do it. With what to do and how to do it. Okay, I would disagree. Not exactly synonyms. They're two different things. With what would mean what support do you require. How to do it is how exactly to deliver the strategy, or how exactly to do it. Anyway, so this is something that we can we can dig up or find out in other presentations or in other discussions. But remember, when you are coming up with the strategy is not very narrowed down. It is not very pinned down to a particular subject. It is kept very broad so as to keep flexibility for, like we were talking earlier, for implementing the strategy in different markets, in different circumstances, in different set of government regulations, in different cultures. Okay, so remember, the strategy is kept very broad. When you narrow it down, as you funnel it down, as you go down into implementing the strategy or setting the monitoring objectives, that is when you go into the details of the discussion. Otherwise, at the very beginning, if you get too dragged down into the details of it, that might mean that you're drawing unnecessary information, going into unnecessary details. Okay. Sana is saying, in case I took that way, but yes, broader perspective. I completely agree with you. Okay.
Sir,
Junaid saying, I want to add here vision and mission, is car battery example in the given document. जी ये exactly यही बात सिद्रा ने भी point out की है कि ये battery manufacturer की details.
So it's not a vision of the Toyota EV as per the provided document.
जी. True. Okay. Do we have the all right, one last comment about the presentation, how it was delivered. Anybody would want to come into that, talk about how the presentation was delivered? I particularly like this slide, very informative. You know, if I'd started writing down statements, it would have looked very messy, but this is very neat. Anyone who would want to come in and comment about the presentation? Come on.
Yeah, I would like to. I guess you are not able
Sure.
to see my comments.
And that's because you are a presenter or a panelist, and that's why your comments would not show up. So you can verbalize. Yes, go on, please.
Yeah. So the presentation overall was good in terms of delivery. It was equally, the time given to the slides was sufficient. They were well prepared. There was conviction and energy in their delivery. So overall, it was good. I would rank it as good.
Okay, I was about to comment on energy, Tamina, and you said that there was quite a lot of energy in it. Okay, I think energy is something that that could be improved. There could be more energy. I mean, I think you should be delivering presentations.
Considering the Ramadan.
Okay, so you know when we're talking about the delivery of the presentation, हम लोग इसको अपने लिए बहुत इस task को difficult बना लेते हैं. Keep it as simple. I mean, the delivery part of the presentation, keep it as simple as if you're telling a story to a 1 year or a 2 year old child. Keep it that simple, right? Or if you could deliver an effective presentation, deliver it first to a house help or a driver. If they understand it, that is the standard that you have to achieve. Okay, it has to be that simple in that perspective. Okay, even if the presentation is to be delivered at the board level, it has to be extremely simple. Yes, should not lack information, but it should be delivered in a very simple way. Sajid में और मेरे में
I would like to add one more thing here.
जी तमीना बताइए पहले.
Yeah, the highs and lows, I would say that your volume should have that level of highs and lows. If you are using conviction, then your volume should go a little bit higher at those points, and then you can intentionally bring your volume to a lower level. This shows a fake energy, but it still counts.
Fake energy, all right. Okay, I think you said so, and you picked up this terminology, highs and lows, from, I'm sure, our famous guitar player. Is it?
No.
No, all right. Okay. I mean, too funny, I meant. Okay, anyway,
yeah,
so
yeah.
all right. I think so. Energy is one thing. Simplicity is another. Fluency when you're speaking. When you're talking to each other, you're talking fluently, right? But when you're delivering presentations, there are a lot of ahs and ums that come in naturally, because what you're doing is you are thinking and speaking at the same time. So if one of the two elements is slowed down, you utter these these terminologies that we call them, for want of a better word. You utter these slams as etc. The fewer they are, it would mean the presentation is well prepared. Okay, so I would suggest, the best thing to do when you deliver a presentation, fine, this is in this particular case, I know all of you were saying, ठीक है, एक presentation ही देनी है ना, 7 digits में दे देंगे. But when you are doing this at at the top level in your organization, I mean, we're doing all this because we are preparing you to be one of the top man or top woman in your organization, right? When you're delivering this, right, you need to be fully prepared. Can you imagine um, the president, the newly elected president of the United States, thinking through his presentation? I mean, they spend hours and attend to minute details, and they're going to make a presentation because they would know that the entire world is listening to each and every alphabet in that presentation. They're going to note each and every expression in the presentation. So the best thing to do is stand in front of a mirror and try to tell yourself that story that you're going to narrate in your presentation. Okay, let me repeat this once again. ये आपको बहुत ज़्यादा बेहतर guide कर देगा. So stand in front of the mirror and tell yourself the same story that you are going to deliver through your presentation. I think that will help you a lot. Or when you're making the presentation next time, अगर आप इस mindset के साथ आएंगे तो आपको automatically काफी help मिलेगी इस चीज से. Junaid is continuously pouring in messages. अच्छा जी, group A मौजूद है या हम इनको postpone कर रहे हैं? Group A. Individual presentations, Sidra, why? Sidra is saying group A and B have few individual presentations. Sidra, okay, I'm going to unmute you. Can you explain what was the difficulty in putting the group together? That is a bigger concern for me at the moment than listening to a presentation from them. G Sidra, you're unmuted. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, Harun. Actually, on Saturday, not many of the members could join in the meeting, so we 4 or 5 members joined in, and we thought that we should put some realistic views in our presentation. So we gave ourselves a bit of a timeline till Monday to think around the realistic approach of the objectives that were done by Toyota. And we decided on Monday we can go ahead and should have another meeting by 3 to 4. But many members could not join even Monday's meeting because of office. And then we decided that the members can write up in the group with a few of the suggestions they have for the presentations, but none of the suggestions were received as well. So particularly, I guess the group could not be formed into a single place and could not get a consensus of what should be presented.
Oh, okay, Sidra, thank you. This is a typical situation, typical team dynamics, and I mean, one should be prepared for such situations to happen in real life. चलें, हम इसको देखते हैं कि हम इसे कैसे address कर सकते हैं. But Shahid, if you are still there and listening to us, this issue of members not finding enough time to pay attention to work in 7 digits, I can tell you one thing. अभी तहमीना ने भी presentation की है, जुनेद ने भी की है, हामिद खैर नए हैं अभी 7 digits program में directly आए हैं, but there are individuals in this 7 digits program जो हमारे 6 digits program से आए हैं. Tahmina, please correct me if I'm wrong. The individuals who were involved in conversations, in discussions, in presentations, in becoming a part of the activity, those were the ones who would, I would not say others will not see the success of the program, but these are the ones who are going to see that success earlier than others, sooner than others. Okay, so अगर मैं आप लोगों को ये सजेशन दूं, और ये सजेशन शाहिद ने मुझे दी थी, लेकिन मैं क्योंकि एक stubborn इंसान हो सकता हूं, इसलिए मैंने ये कहा था कि नहीं शाहिद हम ऐसे नहीं करेंगे. शाहिद ने ये सजेस्ट किया था कि हमें once a week moderated और once a week unmoderated session रखना चाहिए. That will give time to the group members to to work alongside their day jobs to work on these presentations, the tasks that we will be giving them. If you go back and read the announcement email for the 7 Digits program, the one requirement that the 7 Digits program has, the one contribution that the 7 Digits program required from its participants was time and effort. आप जाके ये दोनों words इसमें पढ़ लें. Straight away, these were the two parts, the two elements that were put in place at the right at the beginning. आप ये करेंगे तो फिर इस सारी activity का फायदा है. Otherwise, it might be an activity in futility. 29 participants, more than 300 were trying to sign up. उस वक्त, you know, a lot of enthusiasm, but that enthusiasm is sort of you know, settling down. इसको address करने के लिए शायद if I can have a word from you also and then from all the participants as well, do you think कि हमें इसकी frequency once in a week पे ले जानी चाहिए? Once in a week moderated and once in a week unmoderated, which means 2 sessions in a week.
Ji sir, I still feel, or I reiterate in fact, and thank you very much for accepting
Accepting my defeat. Is it so?
Yeah. No, I was reading the other day, the two most difficult things, challenging things that a man or a woman or a human being, let's say, face. वो पता क्या है? वो ये हैं कि I was wrong, number one, and number two, I need help. So I think these are the two things where, as a human beings, हम बहुत shy off होते हैं. One asking for help, the other one is accepting that I'm wrong. So thank you very much. I'm happy and glad that my mentor, my senior, is accepting. So एक तो ये हो गया सर कि I think it's practically, I think मैं जैसे बार-बार बात करता होता हूँ कि perspectives हैं, फिर different human beings हैं, different mindset हैं, और right और wrong कोई नहीं है. It's like हम कहीं एक center point पे आ जाएं जहाँ पर हम थोड़ा सा अपने इस प्रोग्राम को you know, needs को अपने सब group members की understand करते हुए थोड़ी सी flexibility दिखा दें, just only for the next 2 weeks. मेरा ख्याल है 1.5 हफ्ता, ज़्यादा 4 सेशंस होंगे before Eid.
जी, मैं ये कहने लगा था कि हम रमजान के दिनों में इसको once in a week पे चले जाते हैं, and then go back to once again 2 sessions, 2 moderated sessions after Eid. Is that the suggestion, right?
Ji, that's, I strongly believe we should do
that. Okay, so now to the group members. Yes or no only, please. Do you agree that we should reduce the frequency of our moderated sessions to 1, which means 1 moderated session and 1 unmoderated session in a week during the month of Ramadan only? Abdul Wahid Sheikh is saying yes.
I also agree, yes.
Okay.
I also agree.
Okay. Thank you, Ahmed.
Yeah, it's a team effort from ACTA and from the members. So mostly flexible and as per the routine of other members who are not joining on time and not putting as required efforts. So it's better to make it flexible and rest of pressure time we put in after Ramadan.
Okay.
And Arun sir, with your permission, one piece of advice. I think एक request मेरी तमाम members से जो इस वक्त attend कर रहे हैं वो ये कि share your feedback at least in those WhatsApp groups. So इससे encouragement मिलती है to all those who have missed these sessions. What we have, you know, learned, what we have gained, what anything which you did not like, anything you liked the most. I think ये engagement हमारे WhatsApp group पे specially और फिर later on Facebook और बाकी channels पे regularly होनी चाहिए. That's just a piece of advice. Thank you, sir.
जी थैंक यू. ओके सो अभी तक मेरे पास कोई 6-7 यस आए हैं. इसका मतलब ये है बाकी लोग अभी भी सोच रहे हैं. चलिए हम यही कन्वर्सेशन अपने ग्रुप में ले जाते हैं, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में, और वहाँ पर कर लेते हैं. सिद्रा, हम आप लोगों को वी गिविंग यू पीपल टाइम टिल नेक्स्ट सेशन व्हिच इज थर्सडे इन दिस केस. यू नो अगर हमने अभी सिंगल सेशन इन वीक पे डिसाइड नहीं किया, तो जो भी नेक्स्ट सेशन होगा, चाहे थर्सडे को हो चाहे अगले ट्यूसडे को हो, हम उसके शुरू में एक छोटा सा आपके प्रेजेंटेशन के ऊपर आप लोगों से you know we will be asking the group to make a presentation.
Sure,
One
Harun.
presentation. Thank you. Ram Ratan is saying please share these slides. जिन लोगों ने स्लाइड बनाई हुई हैं और अगर वो शेयर करना चाहते हैं तो वो प्लीज व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे डाल दें ताकि जो बाकी लोग हैं उनको भी देखने का मौका मिल जाए. तहमीना, मैं सजेस्ट करूंगा आप अपने ग्रुप वाली स्लाइड्स जो हैं अगर उनको कोई थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव करना चाहें तो दैट विल बी यूजफुल.
Yes, sure, Harun. We'll do that.
जी व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में. थैंक यू जुनैद, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में डालेंगे ताकि जो बाकी लोग हैं उनको भी वो देखने को मिले. Alright, okay, I think we conclude here today. Thank you very much for joining in. Good and interesting experience. I wanted it more lively. अगर हम इसको इफ्तारी के बाद किया होता तो I'm sure थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा एनर्जी होती इसके अंदर समोसे और पकौड़ों की. But thank you very much for all the work that everybody who was presented, all the work that they have done. Really appreciate the effort, and I can guarantee that with the determination that these guys have shown today, you will definitely be seeing success, you know, the objectives that we set. So inshallah, we will meet each other. हम जैसे ये group में finalize कर लेते हैं WhatsApp group में on you know how are we going to go forward with the sessions. तो उस पे फिर हम उसके बाद फिर हम इसको we'll take this further. Thank you so very much for joining in. Take good care of yourselves and Allah Hafiz.